Welcome all, Boone here from EWPRO. Getting straight into the weekly outlook. Starting with the DXY on the daily. We got the 5 down. We're looking at A, B, C. We're looking for that 38.2 or the 50 fib. Retracement, like I said, well, the last few weeks, we can look at this as a flat in here for A, B, C in here to finish off this C wave. Going on to the H4, we got last week, we're looking for the buy. We had this up in here. We had a correction here. Turns out this was a flat in here, and we got what are we getting? WXY up in here. So what we can do is so now we're looking for that WXYZ. So everything pretty much played out like I was looking for last week. If you go back through my video last week. So we can draw targets here. So we're up to that 100 fib, and we're looking for this 161.8 go and break that top. So any buy setup you get, you look for the long. This was your flag in here. If you've missed this, well, you still can look for buys, but they're starting to get dangerous. There is no divergence, bearish divergence on the H4, so you can look for flags, and you'll be targeting that 161.8 before we get so we get WXY, X2, and then the Z up, possibly up to that daily 38.2. Looking at the AU on the daily. So we got that bearish divergence with the C up, and we're looking at WXY, X2, and then a Z down. A possible Z down. On the H4, we're looking at this as a correction in here for an A, B, C. Nothing's changed since last week. You know, we're looking for that sell last week. It hit the 100 fib, the first target, and the second target was that 161.8. Looking at the H1, we now have that bullish divergence. So it starts to get dangerous. Once we start to get that divergence, you got to be careful. It goes without saying, really. But yeah, so we hit that 100 fib here. It was quite choppy coming down. We got all this bullish divergence. So it's risky to trade flags. Like, it looks like you're getting another flag in here. Like I said last week, you know, why this trend, well, I didn't start on this one, but I didn't draw that trend line, but why this trend line here holds. If you get little flags in here, you can look for the sell, but they're starting to get dangerous. Like I said, we're getting bullish divergence. For the buy, you're looking for a breakout, correction or flag in here for upside for that C up on the H4. Looking at EU on the daily, nothing's changed on the daily. We're looking at that A, B, C, and we got that, but we don't know if this is over yet. We can look at it like I've been saying for ages. We can look at this as a flat in here for an A, B, C, or this is the end of the move. Now, we ideally like to get back to this 50 pip here, you know, after we got this structure up here with the C up with the bearish divergence. So we're looking for the larger correction. We're getting the larger correction, that's obvious. So if we go down to the H4 game, we were looking for that sell last week. First target was at 100 pip, which was hit, and your second target's at 161.8. Again, it's starting to get risky now when we look at the H1. We're starting to get bullish divergence in here now. The only way you can buy is wait for an impulse, correction or flag, and look for the buy. You can, again, why this trend line here holds, you can look for sells, but it's getting dangerous. You know, your trade was up here. You know, last week we were up here somewhere. I think we hadn't broken out yet, and we're looking for that sell. It went back up, didn't break that top, so your stop loss should have been safe, and your first target would have been hit. Now you'll have to go down onto the lower time frames and scalp. Basically, you're just scalping in this B wave. Yeah, there's not much you can, if you get flags against this trend line here, you know, you can look for sells. You know, your second target is at 161.8. So while this trend line here holds, you can look for sells. But yeah, it's starting to get dangerous, like I said, for scalping shorts. GU on the daily, again, like I've been saying for ages, if this was an A, B, C in here, we should have got a flag in here. We've got a nice impulse up, and we should have just got a flag in here and then go and break the top. Instead, we got all this. So we can look at this as a flat in here for A, B, C down. You know, like I've been saying on all the other daily time frames on the other crosses, you know, we're looking for that 50 pip retrace. Ideally, we get a 50 pip retrace, which would be nice. So if we go down to the H4, we were looking for that C up, like A, B, C, up to this 100 pip. That 100 pip hadn't been hit. Now, we got 3 up in here. So we can look at it as a possible flat here for an A, B, C up in here. Or this is the end. We have the bearish divergence and we're going down to break the low. Last week, we were looking for the sell. You got a few flags here. If you've missed them, again, why the trend line holds, you can look for sells. Why this trend line here holds, you can look for sells. There's no bearish divergence on this one, no bullish divergence, sorry. So if you do get flags against this trend line, you can look for the short. For the buy, you need a breakout, ideally above that top, bullish flag or correction, and then you can look for the buy. NU on the daily. This one here is looking rather bullish up here for more upside. We do have the A, B, C. Bounce clean off that 100 pip. Like I've been saying, we got an A, B, C in here. So we got 3 down in there. So we can look at it as an A, B, C here, and then go and break the low as well for an A, B, C. We have to wait to see what's going on up here. You know, on the H4, we're looking for we're looking at all this as a correction, and then more, and then like an A, B, C. But going off that daily, you have to be careful of that flat on that daily that I just showed. So we're looking for the sell last week. We drew the targets. The first target's hit. We haven't got any bullish divergence. So again, why the trend line here holds, and this trend line isn't really valid, but why this trend line here holds, you can look for the sells. Got a nice flag in here. We're looking for that sell last week down to the 100 fib. That was hit. 161.8 is your next target. If you get any flags, you can look for the scalp in here. And yeah, UY on the daily. So this one was a little bit trickier. It's starting to be clearer now. So we're looking at A, B, C. But again, we got the breakout. We got a nice impulse. So we were looking for a flag up here, or correction for more upside to go and break that top. Instead, we got all this. So if we go down to the H4, well, my arrows haven't changed since last week. So we're looking for that A, B, C. I said last week, eventually we're going to get this C down. And we got that now. It didn't quite go and break this low, but we can look at it as a contracting flat here. For an A, B, C. So now we're looking for this impulse up here. On the H1, have to be a little bit careful here because we have bear hidden. We have the possible bear hidden. So this can be an W, X, Y, X2, and then we get a Z down before we get this larger impulse up here that we're looking for. So you still have to be a little bit careful. I'm in this on the buy down here, but if you're not in it, you really want to wait for the larger correction now. You want to break above here and then give you the correction to confirm that there's going to be more upside. Because like I said, this can be bear hidden here. So you'll have to watch for that. For the bear, you know, you want a bear setup, bearish flag to look for the sell if you're going for that Z down. Other than that, you'll be looking for, a bullish flag up here or that correction before you can look for the long. You really need a correction now before you can buy. Ideally, it does give a little flag in here, goes and breaks his top over here, and then gives the larger correction, and then you can look for that buy. Use Chevy on the daily. The buy on this one as well. Well, finally, this was we were always looking for this A, B, C. It gave us all this in, which made it confusing. But now we're getting that A, B, C. So this can be an A, B, C, and then you get an A, B, C. So there's quite a few different structures that can happen in here before you get the larger A, B, C, and then you get the larger C up. But we're looking for those buys, and it's nearly at that 100 fib now. Looking at the H4 again, this one was it didn't really give us this nice C down. I got in over here for the buy, but yeah, we're starting to get bearish divergence. It's not confirmed yet that we're getting the bearish convergence, but we can see that it's starting to form bearish divergence. So we get an A, B. We're looking for that C up with bearish divergence. So it's starting to get risky to buy. You know, you sort of missed the buy on it. If you're not in it, you've missed the buy really, because this was all very choppy. You know, this is very choppy in here. Before it went, this is a flag that I brought, and I'm still on that trade. And yeah, my target is that 100 fib. We don't have any bearish divergence on the H1. So if you do get flags, you can buy them, but again, and you'll be targeting that 100 fib. So it's really only a scalp. You really can only scalp now. You know, this was your entry here. You know, you got that flat. You got that larger flat in here for like WXY. Then you'll be looking for that X2 and then the Z up. So whether you want to wait for a larger correction over here and then look for the buy again, it's probably safer to do that. You know, this is so choppy, very difficult to trade. So yeah, be careful if you're trading it, especially if you're looking for the long up the top. Looking at UCAD on the daily, nothing's changed. We got a bounce clean off that weekly 100 fib. We got a nice impulse up, A, B, C in here for a flat, and we're looking for upside. I'm in this one as well, but yeah. So this was a very difficult structure in here. You know, we're looking for that 100 fib last week. It still hasn't been hit. So we're looking for that. We got the trade down in here for an A, B, C. It actually went further than I thought. Then we were looking for this one here. Last week, it broke out and then just broke this top. So you sort of got a flat in here. Now, the reason why I took the buy, is because if you see here, we've got bull hidden divergence. So I was looking for that to go and break the top. This was quite deep in here, but it still did go. If you get flags on the, if you get flags, you can look to buy, and you're just targeting that 100 fib. Your second target will be that 161.8. So you still do have a little bit of room. If you get nice bullish flag, you can look for the buy, but it is starting to get too late. Yeah. Looking at GU on the daily. So again, if this was an A, B, C in here, we should have got a impulse up. We got the nice impulse up, but we were looking for a bullish flag up here for a correction to go and break the top. We didn't get that. Instead, we got all this. So we have to look at the structures on the lower time frames. Last week, we were looking for that short. Here we were looking for another one up. Last week we were in here somewhere and we were looking for that short. I was looking for trend line break and then bearish setup for the sell. It didn't break the trend line and gave us a higher high. That didn't change the structure. We got that bear hidden. So, we're looking for these targets. the 123.6 and the 161.8 as your second target. I would be definitely taking, well, I'd be taking all of it off at the 123.6 because we're breaking all these lows here, you know. So yeah, now it's clear. We're getting a clear setup here. You can see it. We got a trend line break with bearish divergence, and we're getting correction in here. So you definitely want to look for that sell. You know, you can only look for the sell. On the H1, I was looking for a sell in here. I never got it. Then it went and broke the top, and then it never gave any setup up here, unfortunately, for me to get into it. So I'm not actually on this one. We're getting a correction in here, right? You know, A, B, C. So if you get any bearish setup in here, look for the sell. E.g., on the daily, we're only looking for buys. We got that W, X, Y, X2, and we got the Z down. Didn't get to our targets, but it doesn't have to. It broke the low. So now we got all that bullish divergence. So we've got a nice impulse up. We've got to look at the correction in here and then more upside. On the H4, as you can see, we're looking for that A, B, C. It gave us a larger correction in here and broke the low again. But it's still, like I said last week, this can actually, you know, this is a expanding flat. We don't know where the end of wave C will be. So this A, B, C, we don't know how far this, you know, far the C wave is going to go. But I am looking as that as an expanding flat, and then we go up like last week. On the H1, we were looking for a little bit more downside because we had this in here. We had an A, B, C, and I said we'll possibly get another one down here and then go. Well, it did go in here, but then we got a lower low. So we have to look at what's actually going on in here on the lower time frames. There's really no buy or sell on it at this stage. The only thing you can really do here, and is what I'll more than likely do, is put a buy stop just above that top there. So we get an A, B, C, and then we get an A, B, and it may take off or it may just be a C up and then more down. So I would have to see, but I'm looking for any buy setups. I'm not looking for the sells. I'm only looking for the buys. So you can see this in here, an A, B. We get another one, another one down in here, and then you can look any bullish setup you get. You know, you can look for the C up just on the H1 100 fib or that H4 100 fib that's right up here somewhere. So we're only looking for buys. Gold on the daily. Nothing's changed on the daily, like I've been saying for ages. We got bear hidden here. We're looking for this to go and break the low. It didn't quite go and break the low. This low here didn't break this low here. So we're looking at it as an A, B, C in here for an A, B, C. But like I've been saying, this may be the top here. We don't know how far this wave C can go. It can, like I said last week, this can be the top right here. Yeah, it doesn't have to go any further. No one knows how far the C wave will go. Last week we were looking for the sell. It was very obvious. We got this trend line break here, and we had this bearish setup. We had this bearish setup in here. I said last week, don't miss it. So most people should be on this for at least an A, B, C, and possibly go and break that low. So now, what can you do? Again, if you're not in on the trades, it's very hard because you don't want to be buying at lows. So why this trend line here holds? You can look for sells. We don't have any bullish divergence. So why this trend line here holds? You can, look for sells. I think this did break the top here. See, this one broke the top. Oh no, it didn't. We're looking at that. See, this can go and break the low again. This top over here wasn't broken over here, so this can go down as a bear hidden and go and break that low. So yeah, if you do get any sell setups, you can look for it, but ideally you would have got it last week. WTI on the daily. So we were looking at this as an A, and all this is a B, and then a C down. It come down and hit that 100 fib, bounced off that 100 fib, and we were looking for a correction up here to go and break the top. Instead, we got all this. So nothing's changed. Now we can sort of look at this as an A, B, C, like I've been saying for weeks now, and then we get that A, B, C. On the H4, we're looking for the buys. Last week we were looking for the buys, but I said last week, we're getting close. I think we were in here somewhere. It was bullish. We were looking for only bullish, but like I said last week, this was looking very bullish in here. So if you did take any bullish setup, I said be careful because 100 pips here. Now it's gone up to the 123.6. We do have bearish divergence here, so it is starting to get risky to buy. And we may get a sell set up soon. But again, this is still looking bullish. This is still looking bullish here for another one up. So wherever this larger C ends, like we got an A, B, C. I should have pointed out, but over here we're looking at W, X, Y. Then we got this bear hidden here. Bear hidden divergence to go and break that low. It did break this low over here. It broke it over here, but we got that 1, 2, 3 down in here. So that's why we're looking for that A, B, C, and then more downside for a larger A, B, C. It's getting risky. We've got that, like I said, we've got that bearish divergence happening. So if you want to risk it, you can look for a buy. But yeah, it's going to start to be very risky. You can see this is looking more corrective up the top here still. So yeah, if you want to look at it, look, we sort of got an A, B, C. If you get an A, B, C up in here as a flat, you may get that A, B, C, and then you can look for the upside. But yeah, it's starting to get risky. Here we have, more than likely this will go and break this top because it's clear we've got this ball hidden here. So more than likely this will go up and break the top. So if you want to scalp that, it is safe to scalp that buy. Looking at the Bitcoin on the daily, nothing's changed on the daily. We got this bear hidden here. It's very clear, very clear. We're looking for downside. We're looking for this low over here to be broken on the daily. We got that bear hidden. So on the H4, like I said last week, I don't really expect we get that Z up. It is possible, But yeah, it is still possible that we get an A, B, C in here, and then a Z up. As you can see, last week we were looking for the buy. And it looks very bullish up here. So if you get, if you get a bullish setup, you can look for the buy. On the H1, we were looking for that A, B, C. We were looking for that C up. We got the C up. It actually come down for another one. I was looking for an A, B, C, and then go from here. It actually gave another correction and gave us another one down. If you actually look at this, it's quite obvious. We had that bear hidden here. Got that bear hidden. We went and broke the low. So yeah, you're getting a buy, clear buy set up here. If you trade Bitcoin, don't miss it. It's definitely a buy setup. So if you get a buy setup on it, however your strategy works, I'm not going to give you my strategies, but yeah, look for the buy. SPX on the daily, we're only looking for the sells, like I've been saying. On the daily, we've got all this bearish divergence. You definitely don't want to be buying up the top at a top unless you're scalping. This one has been quite difficult to trade. It hadn't been giving really nice flags or corrections. We were looking for that A, B, C. It never quite got up to that 100 fib, but we got all that bearish divergence. So we're only looking for sells. On the H1, it's very difficult to trade because we're not really, like I said last week, it's very choppy. It's very choppy, but if you get, like I said last week, if you get any bearish setup, look for the sell, and you can only really look for the sells. Even now, you can only really, if you get a bearish setup, bearish flag or something, you can look for the sell. You can only look for a sell until you get that high. So for the buy, if you're looking for the buy, you want to break above this high here and then look for a correction or a flag and then look for upside. Till that happens, you can really only look for sells. If I get trend line. So why this trend line here holds, you can look for sells. Looking at the FTSE, pretty much the same as the other indices. We're looking at that A, all this is a B, and then we'll get a C down. We're looking at this as a C down, like I've been saying for ages. It never went far enough. It never went to that 100 fib. We're looking at an A, B, C. Like I said, it never really went far enough, and then it went and broke the top. I am still looking at all this as a B wave. So we're looking for that C down. On the H4, like last week, we're looking for the sell. You got another sell. Well, I think it already broke, and we're getting this in here. I said look for the sell, and we've gone and broken the low. So now all this is starting to look rather corrective. For this is your impulse here. This is looking rather corrective. So eventually you can look for the buy, but you need a buy setup. There's no buy setup on it. Looking at the H1, we're starting to get, like the others, we're starting to get that bullish divergence. So this was your trade. You've pretty much missed the trade. May get a larger correction now. So if you're looking for the buy, again, if you get a bullish flag in here, you can look for the buy. It may just give you an A, B, C. That's why I say if it comes up to the trend line and gives you a bounce off, you definitely want to take your profit. If price does come up and break this top and then give you a larger correction, well, then you can hold half your position here and add to it, you know. But yeah. So I hope you enjoyed the weekly outlook this week. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you out there next week.